It's the Rick Rack strapless baggage system.
Oh yeah, once you've had Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless with a Rick Rack quick attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. Hey Bikeaholics, Zero 3D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. These guys ride, support riders just like you. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products. Hey Bikeaholics, do you have your grip on?
You know, the Biker Gripper.
Simply the best motorcycle cell phone, GPS, radar detector, and EFI tuner mount on the market.
Oh, it grips so tight.
That's right, 18 pounds grip strength to be exact.
So sleek and strong.
That's right, fits American or metric motorcycles and comes in black or chrome.
So what are you waiting for? Get your grip on.
You can get the Biker Gripper exclusively in the Law Abiding Biker store. Head over to www.lawabidingbiker.com/store and get your grip on.
Hola, papi. Ven y escucha otro episodio del Lab.
What do you say we do this, huh? Welcome back, you freaking Bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the 99%. That's right, large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history. That's right, by listening to this very podcast, you are part, whether you like it or not, of what we call the Biker Revolution. That's right. I do have just one question for you before we get started. What are you waiting for, Bikeaholics? Mount up. Let me take you on another wild-ass ride. That's right, Ryan Urlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and of course, your high-tech redneck. I am here alone in the studio, and there is a reason for that. Today's episode, I'm just going to tell you up front, and I'm going to lead up to it a little bit too, because I want to give you some information, but it's going to be an interview with, you got it, none other than me. So it is an interview with me, is what you're going to be listening to today. Like I say, I'll lead up to it a little bit. But I do want to announce, as usual, a new free video as we are cranking them out on our YouTube channel for you guys. Make sure you are subscribed, lawabidingbiker.com/YouTube. And hit that subscribe button, guys. Love to have a lot of subscribers, and those numbers are going up along with the views and all that. It's social proof, and it helps us be found by more bikers around the world so we can continue this thing we call the Biker Revolution. But one of the new free videos that I have put out on that channel is how to install and wire a Zero 3D lighted fairing vent trim on a Harley. All right. And that's awesome. It's my bike that we actually installed it on, but I'm loving that product. And you all know the vent up there on the new Batwing 14 and on fairings for head buffeting. It doesn't affect it at all as far as the keeping your head from buffeting and all that. In fact, it's just a trim cover, basically, a chrome, and then we have a lighted and unlighted version. I will put that in the show notes, lawabidingbiker.com/, and whatever episode number this is where that will reside. And of course, you can always go over to our store and search for that. And the video is at the bottom of the product listing, as it is on many of our products. So check that video out, see if it's something for you. Get it hooked up, get it from our store, of course. That helps support us too. And we just so much appreciate the community and everything you guys do for us. So, the other thing I want to say is the following people actually sponsor this episode. That's right. They're our beloved patrons, and I just want to mention them real quick. Fred Kramer of Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. Kevin Kent of Bothell, Washington, 2 hours away from us. David Wolf of Edmond, Oklahoma. David Schwartz of Israel. Shout out Israel. David King, top tier there. Big Show Wells of Crofton, Maryland. Clyde Wildes of San Francisco, California, top tier. And Darren Contino of Palmdale, California. Joe Daniels of Stafford, Virginia. That's right. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. That's right. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk to you because you can put a monthly cap. That's right. You do get benefits for signing up depending on which level. There's t-shirts, stickers. There's access to the private Facebook group that's blowing up to top tier, access to our premium videos up on request at no cost. And that community continues to grow, as you can see, because we mentioned new patrons every episode. Get hooked up over there, guys. We really appreciate it. And it is, you'll hear in the interview, one of the reasons that this show is still going strong after 5 years, over 5 years now, since my first episode of Law Abiding Biker back in the day. I'll say now, it seems weird. 5 years and going strong. And again, you'll hear the beloved patrons in this interview. So let me just tell you what this is a little bit about. It is an interview with me, and I think it's about 45 minutes long. But somebody reached out to me, and her name is Jenna Lee Schimmel. She is a freelance writer, and she writes for multiple different magazines, some motorcycle magazines, and most recently is a tattoo magazine. And I'm not affiliated at all. She reached out to me. She found us and really wanted to do a story on me, which is flattering. In 5 years, it's the first time anybody's done a story on me. So I'm kind of humbled by that and honored at the same time. And that article is going to be published, I believe. In fact, I'm almost positive, in Inkspire magazine. That's Inkspire, and that is a tattoo magazine. So you will see the article in there, but you're going to hear all about it. And so when she reached out to me, again, she's freelance. It may end up in some motorcycle magazines too. I'm sure she'll keep in touch and let me know where that exactly ends up. But I do know Inkspire. Anyways, getting back on track here, she contacted me and wanted to do this. And I said, hey, well, if you're going to interview me, let's do it via Skype. I didn't know how it was going to turn out, but she just has to ask a lot of questions for her article. And I said, well, let's do it via Skype. Let's record it because it may be kind of a cool thing if it turns out good. It may be worthy of a podcast episode. And so that's what happened. And she did a really good job interviewing. Of course, it's very laid back because she's just interviewing me for a motorcycle article and getting the information she needs. And I had a really fun time talking to her. Now you guys are going to hear me go back. It's going to be, it's going to take a lot of you back. She talks all the way from, when I started Lab, all the way to present day and everything in between. Never mind that phone call, guys, coming in. Okay. But it'll take you back. And if you guys haven't, went back to episode 1 or you haven't back cataloged, you might want to do that at some point. But you guys that have been with us for all 5 years, you're going to hear a lot of things that you're going to remember of how we started. And it'll be an education for a lot of you that haven't been with us or haven't back cataloged from the beginning. And hopefully it gives you some insight into how I feel and kind of my motivations and maybe where I see Law Abiding Biker going into the future here. So anyways, I don't want to say any more because you'll hear it all in the interview, and stick around till the very end because I'll probably read you the actual article after you listen to the interview, and then it'll be into a 1.5 page article that she wrote. So enjoy.
So I've been very excited to do this because ever since I signed up to receive all of your videos and blogs and everything, you've got to be the busiest man on the planet.
Yeah, I am very busy.
On top of recovering from a fire. So I want to get to that, but let's kind of start at the beginning. And I have a bunch of questions for you here. First is, just so I know I have good background material, your website is fantastic. Can I use some of that material in my story? Is it okay? Do I have your permission? You
do have my permission, yeah.
Okay.
No problem. Sorry, Jenna Lee, are you a freelance writer?
I'm a complete freelance writer. Yes,
okay.
I am.
And you just
my
write.
hope is that I can get this into, my number one goal is Inkspired magazine. I love that magazine. Have you seen it?
I have not, but I got to check it out now.
it's gorgeous. I'll send you a link so you can see. Their deal, though, is that they try to print kind of like teasers online so that people will buy the actual print publication, because it's a really high gloss, beautiful publication. Which reminds me, I'm probably going to want to ask you if you have some photos we could send to them so that I can tease them a little more, because you've got some pretty stuff on your site.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Just let me know before
right.
Before we end, or you got my email if whatever.
Okay.
We'll work something out.
Great.
Yeah.
So I was putting together my question. It says, now that I'm a subscriber, I see videos all the time. You have podcasts. You create a ton of content for the website itself. I'm starting to think literally that you don't sleep, but let's start at the beginning. How old is Law Abiding Biker?
So Law Abiding Biker started back in our first episode that I launched was back in March of 2013 when I came up with the idea. I literally started with nothing more than a microphone and an iPad in my daughter's closet because I needed a sound room and I had no money back, to put into production equipment. So I know it's funny, and I have old pictures of that on the website. Yeah, literally.
Those. Okay.
So, yep, that's where I started. I put out my first episode, and it was just me for about the first 5 episodes. And then after about 5 episodes, I started bringing on other people who were interested in coming on and co-hosting, friends, other motorcycle enthusiasts. And it kind of just went from there. But it was just me it's like 3 or 5 episodes. It was just me. They're horrible. They're back then.
Well, and it started out just as podcasts, right?
It did. My idea at the beginning was just a podcast. I just wanted to help bikers. I wanted to reach out. I was listening to a lot of podcasts, and I was like, there's a lot of misinformation. There's nothing good on the internet. I say that lightly.
Uh-huh.
There is some good stuff out there, but a lot of crap information with these forums, these Harley forums and stuff. I'm like, no, this isn't rocket science. I'm going to help bikers. And so that was that was my goal, is just to do a podcast at that time free.
Okay. And so basically there's not a lot of great information. I have more information to share. I'm going to start a podcast.
I did, as I was looking at it, I was getting more into Harleys. Harley Davidson. We're kind of Harley centric, but we do all American made V twin, and we have a lot of listeners that ride metric and BMW. We don't care. We aren't brand specific. The only reason I do a lot about Harleys is because that's what we all own around here. Now we have had some, so it's not, we're not prejudiced against any motorcycle. We love it as long as you ride motorcycles. That's all we care about. If we could get more bikes to film, we would do that. But so what I was getting at is Harleys have had a Harley Davidson for some reason. When I got into Harleys, I had a lot of bikes before that, and I got into Harleys in my 30s, and I was like, okay, this is, people made them so mysterious, like. Yeah, like, oh, you have to take it to a dealership to have that done, and it's special tools, and you have to be a certified. I was like, this is. So I got it, and I grew up mechanical, working on cars. I didn't work on a lot of bikes growing up, but a few. And I got a Harley, and I started looking it over, and I started working. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me! People are paying dealerships how much money for an oil change, like $400. I was like, this. I love Harley. I love my Harley, but they got something going on there with their, and that's okay. That's how companies make money. But I'm like, okay, I got to help guys with this. This is ridiculous. I'm going to start helping them through a podcast and with gear, gear reviews and stuff like that. That's kind of how it started there. But that's why I did it. I was like, I just want to help bikers, and this seems like the easiest way.
How many listeners, I don't know how you start a podcast. Like, how do you get listeners? Did you have like 8 listeners at the beginning? Yeah. No, literally. That's not a joke. I don't know how many listeners. I can't remember back that far, but it was few. It was less than 100. You just have to put yourself out there. And that's what a lot of people do when they're starting podcasts. People are too concerned about numbers. And I go, I got nothing to prove here. I'm not making a dime off this at that point. I can do whatever I want, and I've got the platform. I'm very technical in nature. I've learned over time. They call me the high tech redneck. I'm very that's my nickname sometimes. So I was very technical. I'm like, I'm going to take this. I can build websites. I've taught myself website design and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to take this and run with it. But yeah, you literally just have to put yourself out there and see if it catches.
A lot of podcasts don't. Very few podcasts make it long term. They call it pod fading. They'll put out 7, 8, 10 episodes, but to stick with it 5 years like we has, that's very unheard of in the industry because people think they're going to get rich off of it. And you don't get rich off podcasting at all. That's not where you make money. The podcast is still all free. You make it through sponsorships and things like that, but we won't go down that road right now. So I put myself out there, seeing if it sticked. I promoted it, on Facebook and stuff like that, but it didn't really, and there just wasn't. I say that lightly again because there are other motorcycle podcasts, but at that time there was just crap motorcycle podcasts. I listened to a few. I'm like, I can do 10 times better than that, and I don't mean that in an arrogant way, but I was like, I think I can add value, especially because I had Harleys. I was like, at least let's go down that road and start with Harleys and see where it goes from there. And it picked up some juice, and we can get into it later. But really, when it got big and really started exploding, was just being passed around. It was a lot of how we grow it's the biker scene. The biker scene is still heavily involved with word of mouth. And these people are the most bikers, the 99%ers, the good law-abiding bikers are amazing people. I've learned over 5 years, absolutely amazing, giving people. And when they like something, they will talk about it word of mouth at biker events, at get-togethers, and we have a lot of social media, but I will tell you still to this day, a lot of our promotion is word of mouth. They know, like, and trust us so much that they're willing to tell their buddies about it. We got guys on military bases, and I just got an email this morning about a guy. I tell everybody on my military base that rides Harleys to go to your channel. So there's a lot of that is how we got big. So
okay, well, okay, and I want to know where you are today in terms of size and reach, but I want to know. Do you have a communications background? Like what did you do in your previous life? Because you even have a radio voice.
Well, I will tell you, Jenna Lee, that is how you say it, right, Jenna Lee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I will tell you, it didn't start like this. If you go back, I dare you to go back to episode 1. It's horrible. My first videos were horrible, but that's where I say you can't. I've never been concerned about what people think of me. Right. I'm okay with that. But you have to get over that to get confident in front of a microphone, to get confident in front of a video camera. And that's come with, like you say, I don't sleep, and it's come with 5 years of blood, sweat, and tears. My previous life, actually, you may not know this about me. I still work 2 full-time jobs. So yeah, I know. I am a full-time 23-year veteran law enforcement officer. I work as a motorcycle police officer full-time. And then,
are you serious?
I am very serious. Yes. A lot of people don't know that.
Then I'm just so grateful to you, because that's scary work, I think.
Yes. And thank you. I appreciate that. So, and because of my job and the way my schedule is, I get, time off, and I really, focus on law-abiding biker media on my days off. I have other people working behind the scenes for me. And, everybody that works at Law-Abiding Biker Media is a full-time police officer. We have one retired, but they're all full-time police officers, and we hustle in the evenings, we hustle on the weekends, and somehow we tend to get it done, and we put out a lot of content, more than most that do it full-time, and that's why we've grown so exponentially over the years. And yeah, I get paid to ride a Harley-Davidson motorcycle right now, so I really haven't decided that it's time to retire. I still really enjoy serving the public. I do as a motors officer, and I get to do a lot of community public stuff on the motorcycle. And, they're kind of high profile Harley-Davidson motorcycles, police officers. And so, at this point, I'm still really enjoying serving the public and in that capacity. And so I'm burning it at both ends right now.
Okay. This is amazing. Was that okay? Because one of my questions was, why law-abiding biker?
Yeah, good. So the way law-abiding biker came, Jenna Lee, and I don't know your background in motorcycles, but here's the way it works. You have unfortunately in the past, and the way it kind of went through the 70s, 80s, even the 90s, is you have these, let's just talk about TV shows like Sons of Anarchy, okay? You have this perception, and that unfortunately they're called 1%ers, okay?
Okay.
And the 1%ers wear this patch that's a 1% patch, and you're talking about Hell's Angels, Banditos, these criminal organizations, okay?
Right.
And unfortunately, they had kind of taken a lot of attention from the biker scene, because that is not I was out riding all over, and I'm like, that is not, you don't even see those guys hardly, because they're less than 1% of the motorcycle scene. And, you can go down that debate about criminal organizations and all that,
right.
Whatever. But I was like, no, the law abiding biker, the guy that goes to work every day and raises a family and contributes to society, and he just loves his off time and riding motorcycles. That's the law abiding biker. That's the 99% of motorcyclists that you see every day. They're not bad. They're friendly. They'll give you a hug. They do all kinds of positive causes and cancer awareness and all these things that they raise so much money. That's what I wanted to bring attention to. I was tired of that criminal element and Hollywood giving bikers a bad name. And so that's what we say, law-abiding biker. Does that mean you have to be perfectly, do you get a speeding ticket? No, that's not that. Those are, we're just saying in general, you work for a living, you raise a family, you contribute to society. That is what law-abiding biker, it's the 99%ers is what we call it. So yeah, that's where we came up with that name.
Well, this is a total sidebar, but I actually a couple years ago or last year got to interview a Colorado Bureau of Investigations guy who investigates those, the Hells Angels, and he gave me quite an education on the patches, and it was a little terrifying. So I'm glad you brought that up, because I now can relate it to my conversation with him. And I know these lovely bikers who all they do is help each other out and care about people. So, okay. So let's talk about today. How your viewers, listeners, subscribers, how do you count your audience right now? So
to just digress just a little bit. So we have the YouTube channel, which you've seen.
Right.
That kind of, that was, this might be interesting for you. And if you don't want to hear about that, let me know, but, it might help you. So I never intended to start a YouTube channel. I love, video. I have since I've been a kid. I was vlogging, what we call today vlogging. I was doing that. I'm 45 now. I was doing that when I was 16 with an old, camcorder tape. I was doing things that have never been heard of. And I've always been, if I had another career, and I do, because I get to do video production.
Yeah, because you have 3.
Yeah, because I have 3. I have film gear everywhere in this room. I've invested a lot of money. I love video production. I love filming stuff. I love creating. I love creating podcasts and all. So I was like, let's try a YouTube video. So all I did back then, I didn't have all the production gear I have now. I had an old, I used my old video camera. It was just a camcorder handheld, crappy. That video, we put it out. There was nothing good on YouTube. Believe it or not, this was only 5 years ago. There was no good oil change videos on a Harley. Like, you couldn't find it. And I have a background in web too, because I've educated myself in search engine optimization, SEO stuff. And I was like, you know what? I bet I can make the #1 video on YouTube off that. So I put it out, and that video to this day has like 2 million views. It took and I looked at myself and I'm like, okay, I guess we got to do a YouTube channel too, because we're going to reach, we're going to reach more bikers this way worldwide. And that YouTube, it's got, I don't know what it is at today, but it's like 60 or 70,000 subscribers, and we get unbelievable amount of view time. And it just went, and again, if you go back and watch my first video, horrible, to today, higher production value, higher, so that's kind of where we went there. So that gives you a little idea about, we have a large audience. We believe, generally, we are the #1 listened to motorcycle podcast in the world. And I'll tell you how we base that. They can track the amount of downloads. I'm not going to get really technical in it, but we can track how many downloads a month we have. Based on those numbers, our host, who we pay to host our audio, to put that in a deliverable format for our audience, can say, okay, we have 3, whatever, let's just keep it simple. We have 1,000 podcasts, and it's a lot more than that, obviously these audio hosts, but they can say within that 1,000, we track your downloads. If you have this amount of downloads, you are within this percentage of shows out there. And we are always consistently over the last 3 years, we've been in the top 10%, if not 8% of all podcasts listened to worldwide, not just motorcycle podcasts, of all podcasts listened to worldwide.
Within the top what?
Top 10% of all podcasts listened to worldwide. It's hard to fathom that for me. But yeah, not just motorcycle podcasts. And that's with there's only about 2 big audio hosts, Blueberry and Libsyn. There's a couple others, but those 2 are your main ones that are the bread and butter of the podcast industry. And so we can use that data and say, okay, we're in this top 10%, and that's been very consistent. So, and then YouTube, like I say, God, I haven't even looked how many thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of view time we get each month on our YouTube channel. And then, of course, the podcast. And then we've spawned it into there to a membership. You can be a member of Law Abiding Biker Media through Patreon. I don't know if you've heard of that.
That's how I signed up.
Oh, yes. Awesome. That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So you get to see the stuff. And just tell me, because I have people helping me with that. Did you get in the private Facebook group?
I don't know that I did.
I'll have to check, because it depends what level you signed up as, but I'll have to check into that. So it spawned, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, the Patreon, and that has blossomed into us giving benefits. And it's a way, when it started, it was just a way for people, and they still do. Some people don't want benefits. They just want to help us because they save so much money not taking their bike to a dealership.
Right.
That there's like, I just get emails daily, like, I got to give back something to you, and I appreciate your content, and then but we did start offering benefits, and so different levels over there you can sign up as to support us, and you can get into the private Facebook group, t-shirts, stickers, up to access to our premium videos. But that's another thing we do too, is most of our stuff's for free. We tout, about 95% of what we do still is free to the biker community. And we hope through Patreon, people will want to help us so that we can keep as much of it as we can for free and not have to hide everything behind a wall. Because we do hide some of our videos, our premium. I think we have about 30 premium videos that are a lot more detailed. You just did a
documentary.
Yes. And I've gotten into that. Oh God. See, we can go down do you want me to talk about that?
No, not yet.
Okay.
No.
All right. Yeah. You got to steer me, because I do this, and I'll run you. So this is your deal. You run me.
This is why you've got so many irons in the fire, I'm sure too. But okay. So this is the perfect for my next question, because I've seen the videos and the podcasts and the articles, and then poems and monologues.
Yes.
And you also sell gear. So can you kind of do like a roundup for me of all of the different ways that Law Abiding Biker reaches out, helps? Like, I want to make sure I don't miss anything.
Yes, good. So that's a good question. So I'll put it into, I think, like 5 categories here. So number 1 is the podcast. We've talked about that. We reach bikers weekly through our Law Abiding Biker podcast. Yep. It goes out about every 10 days, but we call it weekly because sometimes we put out an extra episode. And then that's the biggest, along with YouTube, is those 2 are our biggest. So we have our YouTube channel. Yes. Okay. Yep. The videos on YouTube.
Are those weekly?
They are
daily.
No, it probably comes out to weekly, but I don't really say on this day and this time I'm going to publish. I should eventually, when I retire, I'll have more of a, right now I just put it, but it does, it's about one a week right now. Okay. So, and then our other big thing is, we'll talk about Patreon. We already talked about that. That's our membership. Where you can support us through membership. So Patreon, and you can get, like I say, private Facebook group and benefits to that. And you get to know us better because we're very involved in that private Facebook group. That is a way we get to know you better because we answer more stuff in there. And that's become a forum all in itself. I didn't expect it to be that, but Facebook groups are searchable. So it's become a trusted forum for guys because there's no trolls. Everybody that's in there is paying to be in there. And they want to help each other. Nobody puts each other down. It's an amazing, controlled, community-driven. It started out with us helping. Most of the time, by the time I get in there, there's already like 15 guys that have helped somebody through their problem. Sure. So it's kind of self-serving, I
love the idea of a forum. That's really great.
Yeah. Okay. So Patreon, so podcast, YouTube, Patreon, and then we sell our online premium videos. And again, those are like handlebar installs. They're very detailed, way above and beyond. We have to choose which one of those we hide, but you can, as a patron member, you can get those at no cost if you're at the certain level, or if you're not a patron at that level, you can purchase them outright, and it's just, you buy each video and you have lifetime access to that video, a one-time purchase.
Let me ask you, sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
Most of your videos how-tos, almost all of them, or are there other, or do you like take stands or like,
Are you searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Then Zero 3D has just what you're looking for. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson motorcycles. Zero 3D's got your back with chrome, lighting, and comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for a super easy installation. That equals less time installing, guys, more time riding. Zero 3D has a design team with over 40 years experience with a passion for design and innovation. These guys are bikers and care about bikers just like you guys. That's right. They pride themselves on the best of customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email, sales@zero3d.com, or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Zero 3D is distributed in the United States by Drag Specialties, in Europe by Parts Europe and Zodiac, and in Asia by Twin Art. Of course, don't forget to check your Harley-Davidson dealership and ask for Zero parts. Head over there right now. Check them out. lawabidingbiker.com/Zero, CIRO, and tell them that the Law Abiding Biker crew sent you. Are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle? Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose and slap your paint. Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. This father-son team designed something really special that you can't find anywhere else. Yep, and these guys ride, so they truly understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack quick attach system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of quality touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. Once you use a Rick Rack, you'll never go back. What are you waiting for, Bikeaholics? Head over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags. That's lawabidingbiker.com/store. You know, we love our beloved patrons and we want to get to know you guys better. But you know what? If you can't become a patron right now, we understand. We never balk at a flat donation. I want to thank the following people: Peter Bavasi of La Jolla, California; Michael Fahrbach of Haven, Kansas; Steve Boyland of Maryland; Steve Stratton of Stockton, California, also a top tier patron, amazing; Michael Mazzitelli; and Claude Nease. Thank you very, very much, guys. lawabidingbiker.com/donate is how you get hooked up there. And again, we appreciate it so much. Helps put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank so we can keep this show heading on down the road. Let's get right back into your show. Well, it's become more. It started out with DIY, and I do a lot more, and you asked earlier, which I won't go down it yet, but documentaries. I'm doing a lot more entertainment because people want to know behind the scenes. So I'm doing a lot more vlogging and behind the scenes. So it's education and entertainment at this point with the documentaries and stuff like that. So, but mostly still a good portion of it is DIY, or I just did a battery review. I just edited up a tire review. So it's that kind of stuff. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's okay. So so our videos, and then we have our huge, which is getting very big, our online motorcycle store. So that developed about 2.5 years ago. Because when you're working this much, generally, you know, you come to a point where you're like, I have 2 girls, 2 daughters, 8 and 13. You have 3. Oh, you're surrounded by all girls too. Yeah. Oh, you feel my pain then. You feel my pain.
I do.
So
Brother, I feel it.
You know, when you start spending that amount of time away from your family, when you're working 2 jobs, and I've had to learn to balance that, and I still am not very good at balancing it. You should be monetized you can't do that forever for free. I have to see an end, and my community gets that. I can't just do it for free forever. I still will give a ton of free stuff, and they respect us for that. They know, and that's why they sign up as Patreon. But we started that online store because a lot of the products we were reviewing, I'm like, you can do affiliate stuff where they punch through a link and you get a small commission through the big motorcycle stores. But I was like, hey, some of this stuff we should be selling ourselves if I'm going to promote it, because obviously the margins are better, And so we started an online motorcycle store, putting stuff that we trust, tested and trusted in it. We're not huge as far as like some of your online stores, but I just got an email this morning. He said he was at a show recently and he saw one of the products we sell is Zero 3D. They also sponsor this show, but you can buy direct from them. And he said, I saw them at a show and they're great people, but he told them specifically, I buy all my Zero stuff through lawabidingbiker.com. They will come to us, to our store, because we also have awesome customer service. They know the face. They know, like, and trust us, and they should, because my guys down there, I have 2 guys that work down there that run the store for me. Their service to the biker community and answering emails and helping them with their products is stellar. So the online motorcycle, and like I mentioned, that there's a little bit of affiliate marketing, but that's a very small portion. But those are your biggest ways that we reach and help bikers. So
that is amazing. Okay. Well, talking about the store then brings me to the fire.
Yes. Okay.
Right? Didn't you have a lot of your stuff in that? Was it a garage or what happened?
Yeah. So that's been a devastating blow to us. But I'm a man of faith, and I know that things happen for a reason, and you stay the course, and we've learned things from it. And I think we're a better company because of it. But we're a bootstrap company still, and we had the guy running my Rick Kane is his name. Everybody knows him in our community. He's been around with Law Abiding Biker Media for a while, and Brian down there. They run the store. Well, at that time, we had turned his entire garage, basically took over his garage. We had so much inventory, but being a bootstrap company, we didn't really take into account how much inventory we had. We didn't have tight constraints on what was coming in and what was going out. We're just trying to make it. We're trying to help bikers. We're busy working 2 jobs. Like an idiot, I didn't have insurance on any of it. Because who thinks your garage? And we're so busy, I wasn't thinking ahead.
Right.
So unfortunately, every last bit of our inventory, everything we own, and it was a large amount, much larger when we did the figures than what we had thought we had in inventory. And we lost 100% of it uninsured. And that's been a really hard thing that we've had to work through. We're still working through it. It's going to take several years to recover that type of, it had taken us years to get to that point. I just invest. I've always just invested back in the company that I make my living off. I already told you what my full-time job is. That's where I make my living. I don't make my living off this. As an entrepreneur, CEO of the company, I have to you dump back into the company, because I want to be able to help bikers even larger scale than we are right now. And the only way to do that is keep dumping back in and building the store. So that was a devastating blow right before Christmas. Worse yet is he lost his, home.
Right.
One of my very close, trusted friends, lost his home on top of it. And it was just right before Christmas. It was a very hard deal. But like I say, being a man of faith, I know that we one foot in front of the other, and I know that we've made some changes, and we've learned from that mistake will never happen again. So, and our community has backed us amazingly. A lot of people reached out to us, and as soon as we could get our store back, we had to shut our online store down because we had nothing to sell.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we had nothing to sell. And so vendors worked with us that trust us. A lot of vendors are reaching out to us now because they see what we do. And so they helped us, gave us, some product to get started with. And so we slowly have brought it back online. We're still got a long ways to go to build it back to where it was, but we're getting there. So yeah, the fire was a rough deal.
Oh, it was just tragic even to watch the video from right afterwards. Everybody just looked hollowed out.
Yes.
I'm sorry about that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we had to have some meetings and figure out if we were going to even try to get the store back, and everybody was all in. And so it was helpful that they wanted to continue with the store portion of it, and try to get it back. So yeah. So it's insured now.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's insured. Yeah. So
okay, so talk to me a little about you've mentioned all these people who help you. Talk to me about this village that you've created of people and how they contribute.
Okay, so Matt Couchman works for me, and everybody in the community, I'll mention his name, but everybody in the community knows him. He has developed into my producer. So when I get done with audio, we have a workflow. He takes all my audio, he edits it, and he gets the podcast ready. He does a lot of email. He helps me with all the emails. He helps me with all the social media and Facebook and all that kind of stuff and scheduling social media posts. And that's a nice thing about our company for the most part. You know, even when I went, you know, unfortunately, there's very few vacations I've taken in the last 5 years where I haven't had to take my laptop because I always got to do something. I try to minimize it, but I can work remotely from anywhere in the world on my business because unless I'm filming, you know.
Right.
So he helps remotely with a lot of that. He's my producer is what I technically call him. He's actually my chief operations officer, COO. And he will, he's closer to retirement than I am. And he will probably take that full-time role. And then I have Rick Kane and Brian White. They run the Law Abiding Biker physical product store. They're about an hour east of me in the Tri-Cities area, Washington State. All my product is down there. They run everything down there for me on that. And then that's the only people that are employed by Law Abiding Biker Media. Everybody else that's involved, well, there's Justin. He helps. He's one of my technical advisors, but he's not full-time. I pay him per project.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, Oscar. So then I have a lot of the other guys just because they're friends and we ride together. They assist with the podcast and they want to be on the show. They have something of value to add. It's a fun time for us to sit and talk about motorcycles and share it with the world. So a lot of them come over. They don't get anything out of it other than I get a lot of parts and I get a lot of stuff sent to me. So I share and I give and I feed them good and all that kind of stuff. But all those other guys, and they'll help with videos because we help them with their projects. And a lot of times I'll give them a part and hey, I just need your bike and you can have a free part and we film it and install it. So, right. So yeah, that's pretty much it behind the scenes. So,
okay. So then so you have memberships. I'm trying to figure out how this does create an income now. I would imagine the memberships, the store. Do you have like sponsors? Like, are there online ads? I thought I saw one for Jeep, but I'm not sure if you're getting any of that because it's probably the host.
Yeah, no, it is. It's AdSense. So I do get that. Yeah. But that's pennies. Right. Pennies on the click. Like people say YouTube. I always laugh because people who don't know say, once in a while you'll get some trolls on there and comment, why are you charging for videos? You make so much off YouTube. Nobody makes a living off YouTube. Okay. It's about a penny per 1,000 clicks on a video. Okay. So nobody, even your big YouTubers, you don't make money off YouTube. If you're getting millions of subscribers and views, you can make a decent, but you have to have millions of subscribers. And that's not the way YouTube is anymore. Those are old YouTubers these days. Right. There's a lot smaller, more dedicated channels. So the way we monetize it is obviously the video sales, the store sales, right, the membership. And I do get AdSense. It's a part of the income. AdSense off the YouTube videos, and the website has, the same thing. It's just AdSense ads up there. I run the website. So we do get, pennies on the click on that. So,
are you syndicated?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. So people to hear you, they have to come to you and your website. I guess, I'm trying to remember the technical definition of syndicated, but the way you can reach us, the way people find us is through like a podcast app. So like Apple iTunes or, they can find us. So we are in there. You can search for us. You can search for our website. You can find us on YouTube. A lot of people get recommended us on YouTube. After you watch a video, you see all that. If you're watching motorcycle videos, Google's going to offer up channels that they think you're interested in. So you get that through that kind of stuff. But we get a lot through raw search, people searching for how to install LED lights on a Harley, and bam, we're right there. So we do get a lot through search. So and we do make a little bit through affiliate income. Like I say, when I review a product, if it's not in our store, I'll put links in it and I'll tell people, hey, if you want to support us, click through that link. If you do make a purchase, we get a small commission. We'll get very small commission. So we do a piece of the pie
is a little bit of affiliate income. So
building this has been, it feels like managing an octopus. Like it feels like there's so many, have you ever seen, I'm going to send this to you. There's a video of this old kind of juggler who spins plates on top of sticks.
No, I haven't. Mm-mm.
Oh, I'm going to send it to you because as a freelancer, sometimes my life feels that way. Like if I have like 10 clients and you got to keep those sticks spinning, it reminds me kind of, I'm going to send it to you. And you'll know exactly what I mean when you see it.
Yeah, do. I'd like to see that. You're okay. So right. Because it sounds like you. Yeah.
You got to constantly keep it spinning or the plate falls off and crashes.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's always something, if it's not one thing, it's another. Like I just had website problems and I had to hire a guy in Canada because it was some PHP stuff and it was above me. And so, all the behind the scenes people don't know. It's like, I need to get this video edited now, my website, and I got to call this guy in Canada. It gets sometimes you're just like, can everything just run smooth for a little while,
Well, and I think people, especially with videos, tend to see it as this glamorous life type of thing. And, I guess, behind the scenes, you've got to come up with the ideas. You've got to get the guys together. You've got to make the video. You've got to put it into production. It's just, maybe not as glam as people think.
It's not, when I'm sitting there, my wife seeing me on the video, you don't know what happened that day. You don't know how much I did. And I'll be out there at 11 at night to 1 a.m. shooting this video. Now you think it's morning and I'm perfectly awake. You know what I tell myself that I have sayings that I tell myself, a lot to do those things because a lot of times you're like, oh boy, I don't feel like setting up video gear. I had a heck of a day yesterday and I got this family thing going on. I have mantras for myself to get me to do it. Right. And the rewards are amazing. Like I told you, it really is when I sit back and think about the biker community and how supportive everybody is. It really, when that stuff happens and I get emails like I get and you have patrons signing up, you're like, I'm doing the right thing. But yeah, it's not glamorous like people think. It's from your heart. It is from my heart. Yeah. When you're talking about a documentary, like the Canada documentary, just to film that alone. And then I had, people don't understand, that's locking myself in my studio for 80 hours of editing. And that was probably being nice that it was 80 hours and it's over a very months in between all my other editing projects that I have open. So to try to stay focused on that story, if I could just make documentaries, you could stay focused on it a lot more, but that's not the way the business is. And it takes a lot of effort to do documentaries, to tell a story right. And that's, right. I love that part of it, but it's exhausting too. You go to bed exhausted because I'm very, I'm too perfectionist, I guess is what I want to say. And so sometimes I need to just let things go. And I've done that over time and people love it. And I say, see, they still like it, right. And so you need to learn over time what you need to do and what you don't need to do. So you try to streamline a little bit. Right. In a way, it kind of it's the creative process. Yes, exactly. Same as a writer. Yeah. But I haven't locked them. I have not taken, I wrote a book a long time ago, but I haven't taken the leap since having kids. And I know that's got to be the biggest juggle to manage, your priorities as a dad and your priorities, your goals as a creative person. So, yes. And just like that, you would like to just take one project and just leave me alone. Oh yes. I want to create this, but you got 30 other things pulling from you. And so, it's just like, it never works that way. Right. Right. Well, so, I want to go back real quick. I can't believe you're a police officer, but so is that, that's full time and you're always on a motorcycle doing it. That's amazing. Yes, I am traffic law enforcement on a Harley Davidson motorcycle. So yeah, every day right now. I didn't always I've done lots of different positions, but that's my current position. It's been the best position I've ever had in my career. It's very rewarding. So plus I love motorcycles, so that probably has something to do with it. But yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Okay. And it helps me stay in the industry. It really does because I learn a lot on police motorcycles. I did a tire review. Well, who's better to review tires than me on hardcore courses? And I say, I've actually run that tire, so it's nice to be able to test stuff in different environments, so to speak, that's helped.
Well, I thank you again for serving the community.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I'm afraid I have to go.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, Ryan.
You bet. Nice meeting you.
Good luck.
All right. Thanks.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, I hope you guys really enjoyed that interview. And now that we've heard the interview, I know it took a lot of you down memory lane. And I know it did me when I was talking to Jana Lee. And now that we're done and you've listened to that, I just want to finish by actually reading the article, which kind of sums everything up. And Jana Lee did a really good job with this article. It's titled, High-Tech Redneck Turns Motorcycle Podcast into Life's Mission. It reads as follows. Google Ryan Urlacher motorcycle, and your entire first page of results will be filled with videos, podcast, articles, and images of a Harley riding, backwards ball cap wearing dude with tats up his arms and a singular mission on his mind. Ryan is founder of Law Abiding Biker, a website, podcast, video, blogging empire designed to demystify motorcycles for both prospective bikers and hardcore bikers alike. Yet his story had quite humble beginnings. I started out in 2013 with nothing more than a microphone and an iPad sitting in my daughter's closet to muffle outside noise, says Ryan, whose initial goal was inspired by his own experience. I got into Harleys in my 30s and people made them so mysterious, he recalls. You're told you have to take them to a dealership for any maintenance and that they require special tools. But I grew up working on cars and I started looking over my new Harley and I thought, you've got to be freaking kidding me. People are paying how much for an oil change? I decided to help bike owners through a podcast. Ryan, who admits his first podcast and videos were horrible, but also calls himself a high-tech redneck, continuously upped his production game as more and more bikers started listening. Today, he has a professional studio in his home, produces multiple podcasts and how-to videos on a weekly basis, and can boast one of the biggest podcast audiences in the world. Our podcast host tells us we consistently have among the highest number of downloads, and we are in the top 10% of podcasts in the world, says Ryan. His YouTube channel has 48,000 subscribers, and his videos frequently show thousands of hits and watches. While it may seem like a glamorous way of life, streaming your face and your voice to a worldwide audience of eager listeners, Ryan admits that his life is anything but glamorous. In fact, in addition to the full-time job running Law Abiding Biker, Ryan is a 23-year law enforcement veteran in his hometown, where he rides a Harley as a motorcycle officer. That career is one reason he named his company Law Abiding Biker, but there are other reasons as well. Many of the folks who help Ryan put the blogs and videos together as volunteers and paid employees are law officers as well. Additionally, Ryan hopes that all of his broadcast efforts help to dispel the stereotypes that many have of bikers. Especially in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and then with shows like Sons of Anarchy, there's been a stereotype presented of what it means to be a biker, says Ryan. The so-called one percenters, such as the Hells Angels and Banditos, the criminal element, their reputation overwhelms the biker stereotype. But the rest of us, the 99%ers, are average guys who go to work every day, raise a family, are friendly, and will give you a hug, and we raise money for tons of good causes. Those are the people Ryan wants to reach. And while many of his broadcasts include Harley Davidson, he says he doesn't care what people ride. He just wants to reach bikers. Membership has its privileges. As Law Abiding Biker is growing, so has its offerings, which now include weekly podcasts, weekly videos, online motorcycle store, membership benefits such as private Facebook group, where members share tips and tricks, and premium videos with exclusive bike maintenance and gear insights. The membership component of Law Abiding Biker grew out of a need for the company to sustain itself. While 95% of its content is free for anybody to use, Ryan now also creates premium videos and documentaries that share one-of-a-kind maintenance and gear information or tell stories that are particularly important for the biker community. People join because I'm saving them so much money and they want to give back, explains Ryan. Additionally, the motorcycle store only sells gear that Ryan and his team have personally tested and used, often in videos they produce. Proceeds from sales support the company. Ryan pours all income back into the company, relying on his job as a law enforcement officer to pay his personal bills. Sadly, in December 2017, just before Christmas, Ryan and his team faced a terrible tragedy. The garage where they were storing all of their gear for sale in the motorcycle store was destroyed in a fire. None of the gear was insured, and it was a total loss for the company. Yet, within 12 hours of the fire, Ryan was on his camera telling his audience that he would rebuild. I am a man of faith, and I know that things happen for a reason, he says. We are and have always been a bootstrap company. Being a man of faith, I just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Our community has been incredible. They backed us immediately, and many asked how they could help us rebuild. Even vendors reached out to us and are helping us to rebuild our inventory. We are slowly bringing the store back online. Additionally, the feedback that Ryan gets from listeners on a daily basis sustains his passion for the cause. Just today, I received an email from a guy in the military, stationed overseas. He was just thanking me for the work we're doing, says Ryan. That makes it all worth it. If bikers love something, they never let it fail. And with that bombshell, I say, should probably take it out of here, guys. And I do really hope that you enjoyed that interview. I know I did. And like I say, 5 years, that was my first, major interview. So it's kind of cool. And if you want to see it in the magazine, of course, it'll be out in Inkspire, like I stated. Inkspire magazine, and it may make some other publications too. So we shall see. Don't ride without the Slide Bikeaholics. Bug Slide, absolutely the best waterless motorcycle cleaner on the market. Bug Slide, tried and tested by the law-abiding biker crew, and it is our number one go-to waterless motorcycle cleaner. Bug Slide cleans, shines, degreases while removing bugs and other surface contaminants with ease. Use it on your motorcycle, car, boat, and more. Never need to wax again. That's right. The release agent Bug Slide contains a UV filter for added protection. It's free of abrasive and it's safe on all non-porous surfaces. Yep. Use it on your helmet and face shield. Yes, even safe on that Harley denim paint. We believe in it so much we carry it in stock right in the Law Abiding Biker store. lawabidingbiker.com/store. Big Daddy Kane, that's right, and Brian White, also known as Grunt. They have it ready to ship to you guys direct right this very minute. So get it. Get your bike all shined up, guys. And we got a lot of ways you can help us financially, of course. You know about all those. But, if you can't do that right now, it happens. Life throws curveballs. But at least it's free to rate us on iTunes or Stitcher Radio. Even if you're listening under our app, run over to iTunes, guys, and give us a rating. 5-star review. It helps bump us up in the ratings so more bikers around the world can join this thing we call the Biker Revolution. You can also do so in Stitcher Radio, lawabidingbiker.com/Stitcher Radio, or wherever else you're listening. Just give us a good old review, guys. Anyways, there we go. That wraps it up. I hope you guys are well, and I definitely hope you guys are all out there getting some riding in. Thanks for listening as usual, guys. Catch you on the next one. Yep, and I just want to thank Pablo Calcerada, patron member, for making our intro and outro. Yep, that's the community, guys. That's how badass the law-abiding biker community is.